Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody watching from the World Wide Web. Welcome to Tradies Hockey Park in Sutherland Shire for round 2 of the ML6 competition. And today we bring to you Sutherland versus University of New South Wales. Teams that are just about to get ready, so it's time for me to introduce you to the commentators for today. Mr. Craig Turner and Miss Kathleen Patello. Over to them.
Thanks, Luke.
Okay, thanks, Luke. So the teams are taking the field. Craig Turner here. Welcome, Kathleen. And we're setting up for this ML6 game this afternoon. They've got the prime time slot. 3:15 start. So there's some long shadows on the field, but the conditions are fine. And yeah, just excellent conditions for a game of hockey. Few spectators scattered around the hillside. And we're just about ready to hit off. So Sutherland ML6 coming to this game off an 8-0 win last week against Ryde. So I can't think of a better way to start a competition than an 8-0 win. So they've had a very strong start. And University of New South Wales, they were also successful last week. 2-1 win against Glebe. So both teams are 1 from 1 so far. And Sutherland on the attack early on. Already forcing a save out of the University goalkeeper. Good turnover from the University defence. Pretty tight here in the midfield, tightly contested. University are doing well to keep control of this ball and work it out of their defence, which they appear to have done. Unfortunately, the final pass has gone astray, but that was good control by University of New South Wales coming out of the defence. Sutherland had them under pressure all the way, but they
Seeing in ML6, and it also shares that experience from the older players, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's the way you develop a common style of play between two teams, and it certainly helps with the transition of players between the teams when you've got them training together. That gives you a lot more flexibility and mobility of players, and I think 2022 is going to be one of those seasons where there'll be plenty of mobility. The number of absences week to week, what with COVID and other issues, is...
And today that was definitely a consideration with the selection of the teams, because we had a number of players out, a third of the team out with COVID. So Sutherland's going into attack now, transferring through the middle, trying to see if we can get an opportunity up front.
So Sutherland just keeping that attack a little bit narrow, going to the top of the circle. They need to, which is allowing the University defence to compress around them. So need to keep transferring the ball out.
It's very hot out there today, which will be impacting.
Yes, those shadows lengthen pretty quickly after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is very tight at the moment. There's Every ball's being contested, so it looks like we're in for a close one here, I would suggest. Some good passing outside the 25 by Sutherland. They haven't found the space out wide yet. Oh, that ball's gone through. Found a striker on the back line, but just couldn't be controlled. That's the secret. Getting your strikers in behind the last line of defence really creates options for passing. Fairly high press from Sutherland.
Starting to shape up quite nicely as well. They're getting that time to set it up. So you're seeing that clear striker line, midfield line. See how it goes.
Oh, yeah. So some good pressure by Sutherland. You've got the ball deep in their right side defence. Challenge to get it out from there. Sutherland have picked it off. Ruth Sanis there in control. And she's won a hit just inside the 25. This is where we need to see some movement from the Sutherland strikers.
The Uni's giving them a bit of space in the circle. Their defensive is doing more of a zone rather than man-to-man marking.
So some good pressure from Sutherland has forced another turnover from Uni. Oh, good pick up in attack.
The deep pocket free hits are always tricky, limiting your entrance into the circle, requiring Sutherland to move, but as you can see, Uni's got a good touch to get it out of that deep pocket. Sutherland having that opportunity to reset around the back.
So Darcy Hunter in possession. She's moved the ball across the field, which is good, and even better, the left side defender has got it down the sideline, but just no one there to pick it up. That was a good transfer in defence.
Uni tacking through the centre there, trying to penetrate.
Picked up very strongly by Joe Momson in the Sutherland defence.
Very experienced centre at the moment for Sutherland lineup.
Seen quite a few turnovers, which is to be expected with so much ball in the centre of the field. There's a lot of players there, so it's very tight. So that's Alyssa Hughes passing out back to Darcy Hunter again, through to the midfield.
Not quite getting that full transfer around the back. Joe looking for a beautiful midfield
Terrific
transfer.
That's good control from Piper Murphy. Oh, that's unfortunate. It was the right idea, getting the ball back and around. So the right idea, but just didn't execute correctly. So the ball's gone over the back line, and it'll be a penalty, a long corner for the University attack. So Sutherland need to get in front of this one, although not within 5 yards, of course. So Uni have gone wide, hoping to open up a play down the right, but Sutherland defence moved across quickly, and they've intercepted as the ball's come back into the centre. It's Darcy Hunter actually coming forward from the defence. Uni are getting plenty of players around the ball in defence, so that's making it tough for the Sutherland attack. But
and I can hear their goalkeeper, Elise Elkington, communicating quite well. She's definitely got control over her defence. I
can see Sutherland very high here and in attack, trying to really blocked the ball off, so they've forced the ball across the back. I'll be looking for an intercept here. That's a great pickup from Alyssa Hughes. Oh, excellent play through. So the flat pass and then the through pass almost got an opportunity there for Sutherland striker.
So it's Amy's first game as left striker. She's nearly had that opportunity there. Bit of confidence, and I think she'll definitely get into the swing of it. Nice little foot by Piper.
Jo Momsen's carrying that well down the right-hand side.
Strong clearance by Uni over the sideline.
Good ball into the... Only a good ball into the circle. It was a good ball onto a Sutherland stick, which is what you want to see. But University have been able to pick the ball up and clear out of their circle. And
starting a counter-attack.
They have the ball in possession on the right-hand side, and that was a great intercept from Darcy Hunter at the back. That was... Sutherland was under pressure there. So free hit for Sutherland on the sideline. So Uni are pressing Sutherland just as Sutherland have been doing to the Uni defence.
Quick free hit through the centre. Uni's attacking. Solid defence by Uni.
Good transfer from Sutherland. Just a mistrap on the right-hand side, but Sutherland have recovered, and it looks like a 1-2. Yes, well done. So they've moved the ball strongly into the quarter. Just probably went a little bit early with that transfer across. That hit into the circle at 45 degrees is perhaps the one most fraught with danger for the attack. A lot of turnovers with that sort of pass.
Uni's got quite good numbers in defence here, so Sutherland having to do some work off the ball to try and create some options.
Yes, that was a deliberate... the umpire considered that a deliberate over the back line by the Uni defence, so a penalty corner has been blown. So Sutherland are having the ubiquitous top of the circle conference, and they're about to set up.
So you've got Ruth Sands pushing in. Jo Monson setting up as the battery at the top. Milan one left, Megan one right. And I'm not quite sure who's going in at R2. Chloe.
So unfortunately it was a good trap at the top, but Jo Momsen's lifted that ball just a little high on the first strike, so the umpire's blown a penalty to the defence.
I think someone might have broken here. No? The defence is looking
I think
for
they're just
something.
looking for the ball, actually. We don't have the benefit of half a dozen ball kids down in ML6, so players had to find that ball themselves.
Sutherland putting that high press onto Uni.
Great turnover from Sutherland striker. Just keeping the pressure on. Excellent pass through by Chloe Byrne. Almost found Amy Wetters at the top, but pass just eluded her. That was very good penetration into the D. Sutherland defence need their skates on here. Uni have got 2 strikers behind the Sutherland defence. That was a very dangerous situation. Fortunately, Darcy Hunter's maybe able to pick that ball up, but that was a very... Those Uni strikers have got some pace, and they nearly exposed the Sutherland defence there.
I think it all started from their centre mid, Ellie Judd. She started out of defence, had that work rate up the field and redistributed as well, but Sutherland shut it down.
Hayley McNally with the ball on the right side.
Uni has some time out here on the left. I think Uni's desperately looking for that next pass. They're getting that momentum but not quite sure what to do with it as Sutherland gets lots of players behind the ball. With a minute left on the clock, Sutherland's got the ball in the middle of the pitch, nicely controlling it around the back.
Oh, excellent intercept
Ellie
from Ellie Judd. And Uni again have got their 2 strikers high.
looking
It's
for
a
that.
great opportunity. Yes, they've been able to actually get that one in. So right at the end of the first quarter, Uni have been able to capitalise on a turnover, get their 2 strikers high, and have just been able to pop the ball in on the far side of the goal. So
They definitely had time to cross that ball across the goal then, coming in from the left and then scoring from the right.
So I think that was Annabelle Barnsley, I suspect, that finished with that goal for University of New South Wales. We'll try and get confirmation of that. But 1-0 to Uni. You'd have to say that Sutherland had the field position and
Definitely a high
penetration.
percentage.
Yes, the penetration's in the circle through that defence. So perhaps a bit disappointing for them to concede that goal right at the death. But I don't think they'll be disheartened. There's plenty of time left in this game, but University will be buoyed by that, getting that game after all the pressure they did have to absorb in defence.
Uni's definitely capitalising on their opportunities forward. They're trying to find that quick pass and then coming in 2-3 people at a time. So it definitely paid off in this circumstance.
Yes, I think Sutherland will have to be aware of those high strikers from Uni. That's a couple of times they've got in behind their deep defenders, so that's definitely a threat for the Sutherland defence.
That's a consideration that goalkeepers, as they mature and have more experience as well, they'll develop more control, passing on that awareness to the fullbacks.
And sorry to butt in on the wonderful commentary here, but for everybody following along at home, feel free to make some comments. We can share the comments on screen, so we'd like to make this coverage as interactive as possible. If you want to support your team, please make a comment and we'll share your comment on screen. Back to the commentary team.
So there are quick 2-minute breaks after the first and third quarter, so teams are coming back out onto the field. I think it's these clearly are 2 sort of tightly contested. This is going to be a tightly contested game. 2 well-matched teams. Both won last week, so they've got form on the board, both of them. I think we're in for a tight match. So Sutherland again start with the ball.
Uni's putting pressure on early, but Joe remained calm and settled in the centre. And Sutherland's got a free hit on the sideline.
That's a good quick pass off from Joe Momsen, and Sutherland into attack here. Trying to get the ball round the back. Had to settle for the free hit, which is not a bad consolation. Sutherland need to keep possession here in the attacking quarter. Unfortunately, ball's over the sideline, so it's a turnover to Uni. That's really where we see some of the differences between ML6 and ML4. A little bit more patience and control in the ML4 game. ML6 need to keep control of the ball, just be patient.
University did that really nicely, using the back pass, passing through the centre and finding a foot to allow them to reset and start again.
So they're quite high there with their press, and they've won the turnover, which is what they were looking for. Oh, that was just fractionally behind the player, which is very unfortunate because there was a couple of good passes there into the circle. So that's good signs from Sutherland.
Sutherland might consider having a little bit more depth in their attack as well, as the strikers are still quite inexperienced as they're coming through the ranks. You can see that they're not quite working off each other yet, but that will come as the season progresses and they start to recognise where the other players are and where the gap is. Beautiful intercept by Uni New South Wales. Ellie Judd through the centre, distributing into their strikers. And Uni penetrating into the circle.
That was a vital intercept there by Darcy Hunter. Uni had their striker high, so it was definitely a threat. So that was a pretty vital intercept. So Uni take the ball back to the 25 where they've got a long corner. Oh, excellent play from Darcy at the back there. Intercepted the ball, cleared it wide, picked up by the Sutherland striker on the left.
University cleared it nicely from their defence. They also had quite a few numbers back there, so they would have felt confident at the Sutherland strikers trying to enter through the left. Elliot Judd from Uni taking a quick free hit into their attacking 25, looking for that foot.
So Sutherland's defence is there in numbers. Uni are probably looking to transfer this ball out and around because they haven't probably got the numbers to get through there, but they've got possession of the ball in the centre now. And Darcy Hunter is an absolute wall in defence there for the University team. She's denied them again entry into the circle.
And the way the Sutherland defenders have set up, they've given her the extra space, so she's a free man at the moment, so she's positioning herself between that Uni of New South Wales player and their entry into the circle.
Yes, the free player is always taken.
Uni having a quick shot.
Yep, they got that ball through again to the high striker. So another chance there in attack for them. So that was probably, although it didn't go to a Sutherland stick, it has got the ball over the halfway, which is probably where Sutherland wants to see it rather than back in their defence. They need to pick this ball up from the University side, which they'll be endeavouring to do. Their midfield is pushing up, so that's a good sign. They'll be trying to get in front of the Uni midfield and get the ball first.
And as discussed earlier, there are no ball kids around the edge, so it also gives them a minute to settle and compose themselves. Uni tried to transfer around the back, but intercepted by a young Piper.
That's good strength on the ball there. Didn't allow the trailing Uni defender to pick it off her.
Sutherland has a free hit just outside the 25, so looking for that quick penetration into the circle. Didn't quite play out though, no trap.
Starting to see some good signs from the Sutherland midfield in picking up these balls coming out of the uni defence, and a good outcome there from a circle penetration.
From Jamie Grace, she put it onto the Uni of New South Wales foot.
Yep, so another chance from the penalty corner spot. See Joe Momson's coming up to the top. Definitely looks like she's in charge there. Dispensed with the conference. They know what they're doing.
So Uni's running 2 out and 2 back, like in a typical box formation.
Well, that was a bit unfortunate. She did have time on the ball there at the top, but unfortunately just topped it, and the ball has gone through wide of the goal. Good play by Sutherland. They've allowed the ball to go wide and then pressed the player, given that right side defender really nowhere to go. And they've forced the turnover, and now they're back in attack.
Uni's got this free hit on the right hand side, so they'll be looking to set up and create some opportunities, potentially looking for that midfield transfer. Nope, around the back.
Well, right idea there. Just failed on the execution of the second pass, but getting that ball from where it was congested on the right to some open space on the left was definitely the way to go. Oh, good running there.
By Alyssa.
Alyssa Hughes, she worked back hard in the midfield and intercepted that pass. You'd love to see AMs doing that.
Here she tries again. I think she's playing left midfield, and she's had a few opportunities around that left-hand side for Sutherland. Uni trying to take that quick free hit out of defence, resulting in a foot and another opportunity.
Oh, good strength on the ball there from Darcy Hunter. She's gone through 3 of the Uni midfielders. Unfortunately, her final pass let her down a bit there, and it's gone through to the Uni defence. So they're back in possession, well, at least they were.
Nicely kept in on the side by the Uni midfielder. Looking for the striker option.
Yes.
Unfortunately didn't quite get that trap.
Yes. Again, Uni dangerous in the circle. Again, their 2 strikers got in behind Sutherland's defenders, and fortunately for Sutherland, the final pass didn't land on a Uni stick. So 7 minutes, well, halfway through this second quarter. Uni still have the advantage, 1-0. Oh, this is a dangerous position for Sutherland. Good clearance.
Yeah, marking man-to-man. Correction, sorry, everybody. Uni didn't quite have that option they were looking for.
This is a good transfer through Ruth Sanis out to the right, and Sutherland move forward in attack.
Mistrap by Uni. Gives Sutherland an opportunity to
ball's
enter the
there.
circle.
Just didn't have good control at the end. Good position, but really needed just a little layoff to the striker on the left. So Uni coming out again.
Sutherland has a very high press, so Uni taking time to work out what they want to do with it.
Well, a bit of concerted pressure from the Sutherland strikers in midfield there. They're forced to turn over.
Pam from Uni of New South Wales having a nice turnover at the top of the circle, giving her team an opportunity to attack forward with that very quick counter-attack that they're so good at, getting the 3 strikers into the circle early.
There's a striker on the far side. It's very well positioned for Uni. And in the end, not needed. So... So I think that was Alana Galloway from University of New South Wales, their centre striker, who blasted that ball into the goal. And so Uni now are in a very good position at 2-0 up, despite the fact they've spent most of the game in their defence.
They're definitely capitalising on their opportunities forward. And you can see the experience of every player knowing where the other striker is, so their movement and their ball movement is very, very strong. Sutherland not quite winning that contest to the ball. Uni getting another opportunity for that quick pass forward.
Oh, that's good. Good turnover from
Hayley.
Hayley McNally from Sutherland. She was in a difficult 2-on-1 position there, but came through with the ball. Now Sutherland are back in the circle, but really they're letting themselves down with just that final entry into the circle and their ball control.
So Ruth and Joe for Sutherland in the centre, looking to try and control. You can see again Uni putting their strikers very high as they attack up the field. Two minutes left in the first half. Uni of New South Wales 2 to Sutherland 0. Sutherland having a lot of time when they're passing the ball, especially with that midfield transfer, and trying for that attack up the right-hand side. Just putting it behind their player. Uni looking for the options down the line.
That's an ambitious pass, but it seems to have actually got through, and Joe Momson's on the ball. And she's picked it off the defender there.
Putting it nicely onto one of their feet.
Very, very good attacking position there. Sutherland they really need to convert one of these opportunities. They've had a number of penalty corners.
Taking a quick push out. Uni didn't look quite ready yet. Their goalkeeper.
Strong save from their goalkeeper, cleared the ball well out of the circle. But it's back in there, and Sutherland, I think, will force another corner here. No, Uni defence has been able to get that ball out of the circle. Just 20 seconds to go here, so Sutherland will be looking for a... Ooh. Had that Uni defender connected to that ball, I suspect it might have been a poor outcome for them.
Sutherland had the right idea though there, looking for that long hit into the circle, player coming in on that right post that just didn't quite trap and convert. So as the buzzer goes for the end of the second quarter, it is 2-0 to University of New South Wales.
So
University will be going into their second half on a high. They've got some fantastic work rate up front and their defence is very consistent. Their goalkeeper has nice control in the circle and their defence definitely knows where the Sutherland players are. So Sutherland needs to consider how they're entering the circle and just finishing those last traps and last shots on goal and just keeping a good idea in defence where the New South Wales strikers are.
yes, I think that's right. It's perhaps slightly frustrating for the Sutherland team given the strong field position they've had through the first two quarters. I think University of New South Wales has spent more time in their circle than Sutherland has in theirs. However, Uni have been more effective, it has to be said, in their attack. As Hannah suggested, their strikers are very disciplined about how they play, and when Uni have got the ball, their strikers are getting in behind the Sutherland defence, and they're creating all sorts of... They're creating options. They're creating options for the Uni midfield to pass forward, and on a couple of occasions, or more than a couple, that's exposed the Sutherland defence. So Uni have converted on the opportunities they've had, which in the end of the day is what it's all about, being able to convert the opportunities you have and keep the opposition out. So the opportunity is still there for Sutherland, for sure, and they proved last week that they are a goal-scoring team, but they've come up against a tougher opposition this week, and they need to get more disciplined about how they approach the circle and what they do in the circle.
Well, that's half time here at Tradies Hockey Park. University of New South Wales have made the most of their opportunities. They're up 2-0. And we'll give the commentators a little break for a second to grab a drink and play the music. We'll be back shortly for the second half. Well done, Craig. You getting any feedback from online? Out for the PL games against Briars in 2 weeks. Just through lockdown. Well, hello to everybody tuning in from the World Wide Web. We've got comments from Netherlands, comments from Cairns. Hello to the Sands family in Netherlands and to Janet in Cairns. We hope you're enjoying the coverage. Second half is about to start. University of New South Wales are up 2-0, but Sutho has probably had the running of the first half. And we're back to our fine commentators, Craig Turner and Hannah McClung.
It's good to be back to see the players take the field. So we've got Sutherland heading north with the sun in their eyes now, so they'll need to be extra careful in defence.
You're on, right?
Okay, so looks like Uni have the hit off here. They've got the sun at their back, or what's left of it.
Sutherland defending quite well.
So some good control from Lana Galloway there. Just let down by a final pass, but Sutherland have managed to come away with the ball here. That's a good run from Jamie Grace Patello.
Following up all the way into the circle, looking for an outcome there. Not quite lucky enough to pull it off, so Uni's got it out of their defence. Sutherland's got numbers here as they tack down the left-hand side. Unfortunately, again, that last touch isn't quite trapped cleanly, allowing for a play into the circle. Uni's got it tied in the deep right pocket.
So you have the 2-0 advantage here, so we're in a strong position. All the work to be done is from Sutherland. They've got to be able to convert some of these opportunities they've been able to construct.
First opportunity of the second half.
Oh, that's very neat play inside the D from Megan Mazurek. Good control of the ball, turned one way, turned back, got the ball to the next Sutherland stick. Unfortunately from there couldn't get the shot on goal, but that was a bit more promising inside the D.
Sutherland looking for those fast 2-on-1s up the sideline. Uni doing a quick transfer from the left to the right, trying to create some space for themselves.
So that's well played by Uni. They've got the ball down the right sideline. Unfortunately for them, Sutherland been able to force a turnover. So hit for Sutherland just outside the D. Need a bit of width here, and there's a lot of players in front of the ball. It's probably not the place to go.
Her only option is to go back. Try and enter through the
Great
right
pass
side.
through from Joe Momsen. Oh, that barely missed the far post. Fast running Megan Mazurek in on the far post. He's just missed the ball. So that was a good pass through and an opportunity for Sutherland attackers.
Uni definitely keeping their composure in defence, taking time to set up that transfer to get around the Sutherland press. They have opportunity to attack up the right.
This is where Sutherland need their strikers a little bit higher. They're all at the top of the D, so they're not giving the depth that they need in attack.
Sutherland's going to look for that entry into the circle. But Uni have numbers behind the ball and clear it out wide.
Joe Momsen on the ball's got it across to the goal. Goalkeeper saved again. A few lifted balls there, and in the end it's gone the way of the Uni defence.
Sutherland attempting to intercept the transfer. Not quite pulling it off, and Uni still attacking down the right.
I think that ball has come up. In fact, it's come up off a Sutherland stick into
Piper. Murphy seems to have got a ball.
He might have copped that ball in the side of her face, I think.
Sutherland coach Kristen coming over to check if she's all right, making the decision to take her off the field. So Piper Murphy has been replaced by Alyssa Hughes. And the game has restarted with a bully, with Uni of New South Wales getting the advantage of that, but Sutherland quickly counter-attacking.
Umpire playing advantage there until there was none left, and Sutherland get the free hit just outside the circle.
Ruth Sands taking it back for the 5 to try and slap it in for that beautiful right-hand touch. But
beautiful pass to striker on the right on the back line. So she got a stick on the ball, and well, Megan Mazurek has got that in, I think.
Nice backstick tapping.
Absolutely, very athletic the way she moved across the ball there and tapped it in with the back of the stick. So Sutherland are back in the hunt here. So a lot of midfield pressure has finally resulted in a goal for the Sutherland team, and they're back in the hunt at 1-2. They need to capitalise on that now, keep the pressure on the Uni defence and midfield. Still plenty of time in this game.
Uni of New South Wales has intercepted a Sutherland transfer, so they've got an opportunity up front. Sutherland tackling back with Hayley McNally.
That was some pretty good defence by Hayley. She was quite fast onto that ball. Jo Momsen's picked it up in the midfield. She needs to make a good pass here out of the midfield. Yes. Exactly to the right side midfield. Megan Mazurek again in the centre, looking to a layoff.
Sutherland having another opportunity at the goals.
That was a good play by Sutherland. There was four or five passes there into the circle, so that's what you'd like to see. Once you've put 4 or 5 passes together, you've normally got a pretty good advantage over the opposition. So that's better play. Pressing again. And in fact, they've got the corner. So the umpire are judging a infringement by the defender. Contact with the attacker's stick rather than the ball. a very short mini huddle there by Sutherland at the top of the D.
Uni of New South Wales setting up with 1 on their left post and 3 to the right. First runner running straight out to the shot, which was left lay off by Ruth Sands from Sutherland.
So the goalkeeper proving quite an obstacle there, standing tall and as broad as possible. And Ruth Sands was denied twice there.
Very capable goalie from Uni of New South Wales, saving the first, the second shots time and time again.
Now Sutherland have turned it over in the midfield there, falling into the trap of taking the short path to the circle rather than the slightly longer but more spacious sidelines.
And Uni doing a very nice job marking quite tightly in defence. Sutherland looking for a deep transfer around the back, recovering from a mistrap from their sweeper Darcy Hunter. They're able to connect a couple of passes down the right hand side before turning it over.
I think that was Bethany Domro at the right. It was good control down the right side.
Uni looking for that foot but not quite getting the call.
Alyssa Hughes was quite strong there for Sutherland. Kept control of the ball. Good reflex pick up by Megan there. Oh.
And then a shave tackle.
A shave tackle.
Pam Puglise for Uni of New South Wales attacking through the centre, looking
That
to
is a
connect.
brutal and penetrating pass, but just not picked up by
The
Uni side striker.
If it had paid off, that would have been a very intense one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
That was a difficult pass for Ruth Sannis to pick up. Bouncing ball like that didn't give her much option. So Southern have turned it over. The strikers are pushing high, which is what we like to see. But Uni have won the ball back and goes back into attack. That was good trailing by Darcy Hunter to keep that Uni striker out.
The Uni midfield taking on a couple of Sutherland players, not quite successful in the circle. Sutherland trying to use the width to get it out of defence.
Getting a little bit stuck in the midfield there in the centre of the field. It's not the place to turn the ball over.
And Uni's coming in with 2 in a tackle.
That was a good clearance from Joe Momsen, though, getting into a bit of a difficult situation in the circle there. Uni pressing. Oh, that's a good pick up by Southern striker.
So Jamie Grace intercepted, travelled with the ball 25 metres but didn't quite connect with their next Sutherland player.
She knew she had to pass, but unfortunately the execution just wasn't there. She passed it in the right direction. That was a fellow striker. excellent tackle by Ruth Sands.
So Claire Cowman from New South Wales trying to work it up this right-hand side. Doesn't have many options. But she's stayed in the contest and she has another opportunity down the line.
That was excellent left side defence from Hayley McNally. He really pressed hard on that. Won the possession from the uni striker. Now we need a quick transfer.
Darcy not having that right
Just
defender
didn't have
option.
just didn't have the option out wide that she was looking for. Had to wait for the midfielder to get wide. Sort of took the momentum out of it. Fortunately for Sutherland, Uni have just almost immediately turned the ball over, so they get another go at it.
With 1 minute left on the clock, Sutherland's got the ball in the deep rack pocket coming out of their 16.
Two on three here for Sutherland, but we got Uni under the pressure here. And won the free hit just outside the circle, so that was enterprising play from the Southern strikers.
Fantastic effort back from the centre mid of Uni of New South Wales. Sutherland thought they had lots of time, but she created a turnover.
Unfortunately, Ruth Sands has managed to split the Sutherland strikers there, right down the middle, and the ball's gone over the back line. So, back to the Uni defence to bring it out. Sutherland have managed to close off their options.
Claire Cowman from Uni of New South Wales, again effective down that right-hand side outletting. As the buzzer goes for the end of third quarter. The score is Uni of New South Wales 2 to Sutherland 1.
So, in many respects, that quarter was much the same as the first half in terms of the balance of the play. Sutherland continued to be strong in attack and generally have the territorial advantage, and in fact this time they finished the quarter 1-0 up. They were the goal scorers this quarter, but just need to do a little bit more to get another one in the net. Just need to perhaps make a few more connections inside the D. A little bit more movement from their strikers might create more passing options for them. So it's still a very close game. Could be a cracking final quarter, Hannah.
Yes, Uni definitely just ahead with that one goal. So the pressure's still on for them. Uni's got one sub on the bench. Sutherland has, I think, 3, but a lot of their players have doubled up. This would being their second game for 5 of the players.
So whilst Hannah and I have been speaking to you through the game, just as we go into the last quarter, thank you for those that have managed to connect in and see the game. And particularly thanks to Luke Domro, who's managed to put this production on. Rather awesome achievement.
It's a fantastic achievement, and it's definitely something that the Sutherland Women's are very proud of, to have that opportunity. It's been a very big development the last couple of years, entering the SWHL competition, working our way up from 6th grade to 5th grade to 4th grade, and then getting our second team in this year. And creating that pathway for Sutherland women and Sutherland juniors. So we don't get to see it very often, so we really appreciate all the effort that goes in. It's also lovely to see the crowd on the hill today. We've got a number of picnic rugs set out. We've finally got some nice weather, and that family atmosphere and the support for both Sutherland and Uni of New South Wales is fantastic.
I can tell you, Hannah, if anyone's sitting on a rug, it is a rubber-backed rug. There is a lot of water in that bank. So the umpires and the teams are back on the field for the final quarter. I have to say the conditions this afternoon for both games have been superb after the last few weeks of the weather in Sydney, and I'm sure the players are appreciating that.
Uni of New South Wales taking a very quick start to the fourth quarter with Sutherland not quite set, ready to go yet. Umpire playing advantage. Sutherland looking for that opportunity through the centre, then out wide. Uni have got
That's
a number of defenders.
4 great passes by Sutherland, working the ball up the field. They finally managed to get some players in front of the ball, which gives them a chance. And unfortunately, that last pass was into a foot. So it's back to the Uni defence. But that was, although it was through the centre, which meant they were up against a lot of Uni defence, they did manage to string 4 or 5 passes together, which was great to see.
And hopefully they can keep that momentum building and come out with a positive result. Just like that, a shot on goal saved by the Uni of New South Wales goalkeeper, Elise Elkington, which has turned into a short corner.
Yes, the ball went underneath the pads of Elise Elkington, which is why the penalty corner wasn't available for the strikers to play at. So nevertheless, it was a good save by her because she had a striker right in front of her, would have obstructed her view and access to the ball in the first place. Joe Momsen is there at the top of the D, but the ball has gone left to Ruth Sands. And they're looking for the right striker again, and it's so close.
It's very open, and if they can convert that option, it'll be a nice, clean, crisp short corner.
It's the second of those plays we've had from that corner, and both of them have just eluded the striker's stick, but definitely the striker in the right position, and I'm sure one of those will come off in the very near future.
It's a very considered option as well, with Uni of New South Wales running more of a box, so that's putting numbers through the centre, so Sutherland looking to go out wide and around. Sutherland crossing it from the right-hand side across the circle.
Oh, there's a big foot there from the Uni defence, so another penalty corner to Sutherland. That was good work by Jamie Gross-Patello on the right side. She got that ball across after being tightly contested. I think it'll be a different variation this time. That one's gone straight at the goals, but goalkeeper was right in line. Unfortunately, Joe's taken a stick off the ball there and had taken off her. However, another foot in defence, so another penalty corner for Sutherland.
I think Sutherland very lucky to get that. Sometimes you can hear the hacks from up in the clubhouse.
I think a Uni defender might have. Well, maybe not. Anyway, the umpire wasn't happy, so called back.
Sutherland have to wait for that whistle before they can push it out.
Beautiful strike from Joe Momsen at the top. This time she's online.
Touched in on the left post by Megan Mazaret.
So we are on level terms as we go into the final 12 minutes of the game. Good intercept by Bethany Domro there. Joe Momsen back in possession. And yes, she has picked up Jamie Grace Patello on the right.
It'll be interesting to see what strategies the coaching staff take for the last 11 minutes, whether they're going to try and change anything up or just keep going with the strategy that they're currently using.
The question's now being put to University of New South Wales. They've had a 2-0 lead and they've now lost that, so how they will respond to that pressure. Sutherland clearly has the wind in their sails and have been buoyed by scoring the last 2 goals.
Uni of New South Wales easily outletting from defence through the midfield. Hayley McNally.
Hayley McNally has done that I don't know how many times today. She's sped through and picked up the ball off the attacker. Very well done from left defence.
Definitely winning that position over her striker.
Oh, Joe Momsen has managed to throw a through ball 2 yards outside the circle and has picked up Jamie Grace Patello running through. Very good play, good vision.
Uni going for the quick counter attack, intercepted by Darcy Hunter from Sutherland.
So that's good signs from the Sutherland defence, getting in front of their player. First to the ball, always a good sign.
Chloe Burns having a turnover at the top of the circle and a quick little shot.
So Uni just got their stick on that, so it's a long corner to Sutherland. That last goal seems to have invigorated the supporters. Joe Momsen just managed to get a stick on that ball and trickle it into the University defender's foot. So another penalty corner to Sutherland. So what's the play going to be here? Joe Momsen has been effective in the last penalty corner. Will Ruth Sands get another go?
Uni of New South Wales goalkeeper saving again. She's got a very tight handle on her circle.
Yeah, that was a difficult one for her as well. She got a deflection just in front of her from one of the defenders, and
about knee height.
yes, so that can often present real problems. Good intercept there by Bethany Domro on the right. However, Uni still in possession, and they've got the ball over halfway, which they haven't done for quite some time.
Their strikers still moving quite effectively as well. If the midfield are able to connect with their strikers, Sutherland will be having to consider their defence quite closely.
Megan Mazurek is having none of that. She's got onto that ball and pressed through from the midfield. A good one too. And she continues on to the top of the circle. Lovely pass out wide.
Amy Witters having an opportunity at goal. Not quite strong enough, and the Union New South Wales goalie clearing it.
That was very effective defence from Darcy Hunter. That was a terrific play at the back. She was one-on-one with the striker and got in front of her enough to get the ball.
Uni have a free hit just over halfway, looking for a quick pass through to their strikers that work closely together. Intercepted by Darcy Hunter from Sutherland.
And she's found her midfield. Very good pass out of defence. Oh, another turnover. That's unfortunate. Sutherland had some momentum going forward there.
Ruth Sains tackled on top of the circle by Uni striker.
Ruth just managed to get a stick in a very last-ditched tackle, which was terribly fortunate. That striker from Uni was about to blast that ball towards goal.
Uni not quite connecting between their midfield and strikers at that stage.
And this is where Sutherland need to retain possession of the ball. They do not have numbers up here. They've got 2 on 4. Going to get some midfielders up high.
Hopefully they can create that 2-on-1 in that deep
good
pocket.
play. They've retained possession of the ball. Might have picked up a free hit there, but umpire played the advantage. Or maybe it was a very long advantage.
Sutherland taking their time on this, hoping to create some more options. And making sure the ball's in the perfect spot for the umpire.
That was some neat skill by Megan Mazurak. Got the ball in the circle, and in fact it's rolled onto a Uni defender's foot. Perhaps she was a bit unsighted there. She certainly had a Sutherland striker right in front of her. So another corner. I don't think Uni have not yet to achieve a corner this quarter, but Sutherland has had a packet of them. Converted once.
And looking at their lineup at the moment, they've got one experienced player with Ruth Sands at the left, so I'm assuming it's going to go out to her again. Let's see if she will have a shot or if our option left or right. I was wrong. Up to the top to Chloe Burns, who had a shot.
So Jamie Grace Patello on the ball. She's got through 2 defenders there, and the ball across. Just managed to elude the Sutherland striker. It's good play out on the right. So long corner to Sutherland. Ruth Sands is back on the field. Well, they got the ball through. Unfortunately, there was no striker at the end of that. Sutherland have got 4.5 minutes left, as do University of New South Wales. So this is the time those extra push-ups and extra burpees kick in. This is where the energy level's got to lift.
Uni transferring wide. Not quite connecting those 1-2s up the sideline, so Sutherland has another opportunity to attack as a team.
Oh, very fortunate for Sutherland defence. That fell into the Uni striker's foot.
And then similarly down the other end, Sutherland's foot. Uni trying to cross it to their centre striker because they've got a free striker out on the left.
This is dangerous. Darcy
now.
Hunter's been caught forward.
3-on-1 with Ruth Sands at the top of the circle, slowing down the Uni attack.
That's strong defence from Ruth.
Uni trying to cross it into the circle, but not through Ruth.
That's good control from Sutherland. Resisted the chance for the long hit and have kept the ball amongst 3. Jo Momsen bringing it forward. She's got 2 in front of her, but working hard through. Oh, that's very strong defence from University of New South Wales. Can't quite see the number of that player there, but very
Ellie
good defence.
Judd, very good work rate. Sutherland getting another foot just outside the circle. Uni starting to look fatigued with about 2.5 minutes to go. have a lot of space on the right-hand side, so we'll see if they can capitalise on that. Trying for that transfer, but intercepted by Sutherland Chloe Burns. Very fortunately put a tackle in, got her foot.
So time running out for Sutherland now, just a minute and a half left. Joe Momsen has moved to high striker.
Uni taking another quick free hit. They've got a minute and 20 to string something together.
Attacking momentum is definitely with Sutherland, but they're not really putting the passes together. It's a little bit one out at the moment.
And Uni's keeping 3 deep defenders back as well, which is a wall of defence for the Sutherland team.
Joe Momsen again, just with the outside her circle. Looks like she's working. Yes, she has found another penalty corner. This might be the final throw of the dice for Sutherland. Just 30 seconds left on regular time. They will get to play out this corner. And this time they're going for the conference at the top of the circle.
Bringing their whole team up because there's only 19 seconds left on the clock. So the short corner being called over as it travels outside the dotted lines. And the final score is 2-2 for Sutherland against Uni of New South Wales.
Well, perhaps a reasonable outcome from the game for both sides. I mean, I think University of New South Wales had their early opportunities and took advantage of them. So they put the ball in the net to get a 2-0 lead, but Sutherland worked hard the whole game. They had probably the stronger field position for the game and certainly more penetrations and penalty corners. In the end, they could only put the 2 in, but I think they'll be very grateful they got those 2 goals and they come away with a draw. So plenty for them to work on, but also plenty to be encouraged by. The work rate was good. I think the coaches will be pleased with that. But probably just a little bit more work on the execution through the midfield and the striker positioning. I'm sure they'll come back stronger and better for that. They're the games that you learn from and that you improve from. So to all, thank you for listening in.
And thank you to all the supporters at Tradies Hockey Park today.
So from Hannah and myself, bye for now.